This afternoon, I just wanted to take you through some really quick tips and just key things that you need to understand about transacting websites and online businesses for you and your clients. So the first thing, when you're buying a website or when you're buying an online business, are you buying the body kit or the whole car? Now, I'm a little bit of a rev head. I do ride a motorbike. And who doesn't know what a body kit is? Oh wow, cool. Most people know. I came into an audience once where half the audience didn't know what a body kit was. Okay, so the body kit is, you can get a car, all the engineering in the bottom part, and you can get a pretty top to put over the top of it. So all those Shelby Cobras and things that you see around, most of them are made from body kits. They're not actually original vehicles. So it's a pretty bit. You need to understand, if you're looking at a website either for yourself or on behalf of a client, whether they're getting the pretty bit or all the engineering underneath as well. So I did a transaction for a client a few years ago where they were purchasing an online business. That online business had bespoke software behind it. So it was not going to work. That whole business was a retail website, and the retail website was not going to work unless the software went with the sale. So you can imagine if they had gone to someone who didn't understand the difference between the software that makes it work and the website that makes it look pretty, how they could have been left high and dry if they didn't get the software too. So be clear what you are purchasing and that it has all of the bits with it that make it work. One thing I frequently say to clients is, where's the money coming from? And are you absolutely certain that you're getting every piece that makes sure that money keeps coming in after you finish the purchase? Okay? Now that may mean you need to buy your own subscriptions to particular software and things like that, but you need to know before you can do that. So just be aware of that. Contracts do not have to be in writing to be binding. There are some very limited areas of law where you have to have it in writing, but most contracts, you can have a conversation and create a contract. So there are certain elements under Australian law which give rise to a contract, but be aware, email exchanges, a whole bunch of emails together can create a contract. So if you are negotiating with someone to build a website for them or to buy something, you might be doing that over email. And what Matt said before about, or someone who was up on stage here before said about documenting stuff, if you're going to do a practice website where you may not be paid for it or you may be paid a very small sum of money, bullet point list of what you are going to do for them in exchange for that small sum of money is really, really helpful for you, because you can come back to it and say, here's what I said I'd do. And it can be a binding contract, even though it's not a formal document and signed and all of that, okay? So don't overcomplicate stuff at the small end. Keep it simple, keep it easy for you, and keep it clear so that you can come back and say, okay, see these bullet points we had in this email back then, that's what I said I'd do, and here's how I've done it. Finished. Okay? Just makes your life easier. Where in the world are you trading? Just be aware, if you are going to be transacting with someone overseas, understand your risk profile. So for some people, transacting with overseas means, oh well, if something goes wrong and I've lost $1,000, that's a learning experience. Other people, if something goes wrong and I've lost $1,000, that's a really bad thing. Okay? So understand where you sit on the spectrum and have a level of safety in place if you're transacting money so that you feel confident you're going to get what you're paying for. All right? So it's just understanding that if you're dealing with someone overseas, it's very hard, or it's much harder to enforce transactions when they're cross borders. I had a client years ago when I was in a law firm who bought a franchise system, something like Boost Juice, but they went over to the US and bought it They had nothing in writing and they handed over $50,000. And they came back to Australia and they went, he hasn't delivered to us the system. Can you help us? And seriously, we just shut the door and laughed. Because you would spend that much money doing that. So understand what your transaction process is. There's escrow services. Flipper has an escrow service now. There are safe ways to transact and document. Documenting is good. All right.